How you doing?
All right.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against West Ham. We'll start off with Vinny from Sky.
David, congratulations on the Manager of the Month award. What does that mean to you, given the position the club was in when you came back?
I was absolutely thrilled, I've got to say. But, it's the sort of thing that you certainly pass on to the players and to the rest of the staff who've done a great job. Players especially, when you consider, where they were a month or so ago to where they are and how they're feeling, how they're playing, their confidence. So it's great for them as well. And luckily I'm getting the one who gets recognised for it, but a lot of that praise must go to the players and the staff who are helping me.
I make it that only Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger have won more Managers of the Month awards than yourself. You're level now with Pep Guardiola. What do you read into that or take from that, if anything?
Well, I'm smiling at it because I'm thinking, two of the names you've mentioned, well, three of the names there are absolutely huge managers in their own right. They've all been big winners. I've not been in that situation, but I've had longevity. I've had teams for a long time, and thankfully I've won a few Manager of the Month awards.
Do you feel like a big winner though at the moment because of the way things have turned around?
I feel as if coming back to Everton's been great for me. It's been it's given me sort of made me feel so much better, and I'm back on it again and enjoying the work. So for lots of reasons it's worked out well, and obviously the thing that pleases me more has been how well the players have done. The players have performed so well.
We've spoken before about visiting the new stadium. I'm wondering if you go into this international break on 36 points, do you then think now's the time for me to go and pay it a visit and have a good look round?
Not yet, I don't think. I think you'll need to wait to a guarantee safety. And I don't think it would be maybe on that points total. Maybe it will, I don't know, depending on the games, but I don't think so. I think for lots of reasons, I think I want to wait and make sure. I would hate the thought that we would be in the Championship in a new stadium. So I want us to be certainly known as a Premier League club, having a great new stadium to go to, and the supporters looking forward to that.
We now know that there is change with Kevin Thelwell leaving. What impact does that have on your planning for the future now as well? How's it going to work exactly? Angus Kinnear coming in as CEO. Will it be almost similar to how you worked with Bill Kenwright a bit?
Well, I don't know all the answers to that at the moment, Vinny, but I do know that unfortunately Kevin will be leaving his job. He's done a great job here over many years, and I have to say, going through some really difficult periods at the club here, the last few years, and making sure that they could stay as a Premier League club. So lots of admiration for the work he's done. But yeah, there's going to be a change, and all those bits are still getting pieced together at the moment. I've had one short conversation with Angus, that was all, because he has his job to do at Leeds and don't want to disrupt him while he's working there. So we're getting things together, we're starting to plan, but obviously again, league position and the league you're in is all important.
Is the bulk of responsibility for player recruitment something that you would like and would welcome?
I think nowadays you need lots of help with player recruitment. You need lots of people around you to help that. I don't think it's like the old days where I used to be popping into Wigan to watch Leighton Baines play for Wigan on the way home, or going to watch Phil Jagielka at Sheffield United or something. It was. I think it's a much more difficult sort of area to be on your own, and you need lots of advice from your scouts and recruitment department. But we've not quite pulled it all together yet, but we're planning it and getting things moving.
And in terms of players' futures, is it a similar situation to visiting the stadium? You still going to wait a little bit longer?
I mean, I think that if you're a player, you would totally understand that the club needs to see the position, what league they're going to be in. I think also because the players will understand fully where the club's been over the last few years as well. It's been difficult probably to get things done quicker. But we're nearly there. We're getting close to being a Premier League club. We're much closer than we were when we first came in. So we want to be positive. We want to think going forward, and behind the scenes, I'm certainly beginning to plan that way.
Can I just ask you about Jarrad as well? Not included in England squad. Are you surprised at that? What would you make of Thomas Tuchel's decision?
well, I don't pick the England squad, so I can only say if you're looking at the last 6 or 7 weeks, Jarrad Branthwaite would be up there playing as well as any English centre half in the country at this moment in time. That's for sure. But no, the big thing that he needs to do, he needs to go and play for England under 21s and be the best player again, and then he gets selected again for the big team. So that's the instructions I'd be giving him. Go and show what you can do for the 21s, and Lee Carsley will pass good information back to the manager, and hopefully it'll get you back in the big squad.
You have that conversation with him. Does he need picking up?
Doesn't need picking up, because he's a young centre half at the moment. If you think of centre halves, a lot of them play and go on for a long time, so he's very, very early at his stage of his career. Even to be a full international, he is that. So no, got to learn your trade. You've got to keep working at it, keeping improving. And I told him, go and play really well for the 21s and show Thomas that he should have taken you into the squad.
And how do you feel facing West Ham? Is it similar to the first time you faced Everton after you'd left?
Yeah, but there's a lot of differences now. I'd faced Everton, with Manchester United and other clubs as well. So it is different, because I left a club that I really, really enjoyed and had a great time with everybody at the club. The times we had. After winning the European trophy and coming back, and to see what the East End of London was like was fantastic. And to be fair, I've not brought all the players into West Ham, but the bulk of them probably were on my watch, really. And I've got a lot of really close bonds with the players there. So it'll be great to see them all, but a really difficult situation, to be coming up against them.
Points wise as well, obviously, a win makes a big difference in terms of that league positioning, given the relative positions of the two sides.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult from that point of view. I think we'll both be hoping that maybe the points we've got could be enough, but I think we'll both be more aware that we want to improve, we want to get better, we want to get more points, and so I have to go and beat West Ham.
Roya, the one potential back this week?
Yeah, he's in and around it. It's a bit like Yusuf and Seamus, they've had another sort of 5 or 6 days training, whereas Brozia's just back, back in amongst it, so just getting closer, but hopefully we'll be able to get him on the bench for tomorrow's game.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to Fraser at Premier League Productions.
Just developing on that point, from facing West Ham, and you mentioned all the players that you brought in there, does that make it an easier job for you in terms of deciding what you're going to do and preparing your players, because you know so many of those players so well?
No, absolutely not. Because I know what they're all capable of, and I know what they can do. So from that point of view, I think in many ways it makes it more difficult, and they'll also know quite a lot about me as well, the players. So from that point of view, but look, Everton's where I work, and it's where we're getting good results at the moment, and my plan's to try and get another good result.
I was looking at an interview that Jack Harrison was doing the other day, and he mentioned about the way that he likes your management style, in the sense that you're very detail oriented and you give the players a very clear idea of exactly what their roles and positions are. Can you give us an idea of how that works from your perspective?
Sometimes you do things you don't really know how you do it yourself. It's you work, we all go to work, and sometimes people don't know how that works. So sometimes I just come in and do my work and get on with it. But I have to say that we've tried to give the players a much more positive feeling, in that we would like to try and score more goals, create more chances, more risk to a level. Our risk difficulty is that, when you're maybe sort of dealing with the bottom of the league, it's hard to be too risky in some ways. We might be in a position coming soon where we might be able to say you can take as many risks as you like because of your league position. We're not at that point yet. So getting the results, as I've said many times, and I'm praising him again, Sean Dyche put a lot of good things into the club here, and I'm fortunate that I'm able to pick up on them.
Thanks, Fraser. We'll go to Julia.
Thank you. There'll be a lot of debate going on now over Jarrad Branthwaite, but James Tarkowski, given Everton, there's only 3 other sides in the Premier League with more clean sheets. James has had a lot of input into that. Yeah. He also scores. He scored a very key goal in the derby. Do you think it's a shame he isn't talked about for England?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think, look, England have got an incredibly good group of players to choose from. And, the level of players that they've got in this country actually makes me sick because I'm Scottish, and we would like something like that. But it's an incredibly good pool of players. I think Tarky's played really well, and you're right. I mean, obviously Jordan gets selected. I think if I'm looking back and thinking maybe the levels we've been playing at, would not be something where England managers come and looking for the players that probably at the bottom end of the league too much. That might be a thought in it. So that gives us incentive. We've all got to get ourselves up and start challenging for Europe and hopefully getting more players noticed. But you're right by mentioning Tarky. Tarky's played really, really well.
Jake O'Brien selected Republic of Ireland. I know you've changed his position. He's been in that right back. I just wondered how you assessed his development since you've come in. And is there a plan to transition him next season to centre-back?
Yes, in some ways there is. I still think he plays a little bit like a young player, but I think he's got so many good attributes. And let's be fair, we put him in the team. In fact, Bainsey played him against Peterborough, I think, in the first game before I came in, and he done really well. And we thought, well, why not? I think it'd be good if he goes away. He might play centre half for the Republic. He might play right back. I'm not sure whether we'll play him. As I said, we've tried to use him a little bit of hybrid, which I'm hoping when he does eventually go back to being a centre half, then it's pretty neutral for him. But yeah, I can see the next year or so him obviously going back to be more of a centre half than a fullback.
You've obviously got some players in and around the squad that have been out for quite some time. Do you think the previous week at Wolves it started to show maybe that the lack of numbers in your squad? Because as players are getting tired, you look to your bench and that you don't have that much. Yeah,
I mean, look, we've a couple back who I mentioned that had only trained and we didn't have so for example, Seamus couldn't have probably played. If I needed him to come on for 10 minutes or so, I wouldn't have had a worry because we were still trying to to see how he would go with his injury. Yusuf, I'm still getting to know really, and he's come back from a long time out. He's Broja, we've just mentioned, is on his way back as well, but it's where they are regarding match practice and getting some minutes. So, but they're coming back. But the other three who we might talk about, the likes of Ellie, Dom, and Dwight. They're all making progress, and you've got to say, once we play this game, there's the best part of 2 weeks, slightly more than 2 weeks break, which, might start to see them all coming very close to returning. Maybe not quite right away, but certainly much closer.
What do you use this break for then? Is it a rest period? Is it help for those players that have been injured? Or is it a chance for in here for you to try things out and try, move people about a bit?
Well, there's a little bit of both. There's a little bit of the players have now been probably at it since 1st of July, roughly. Not having much time off really. There'll be teams who've done it had much more games than us than we've had this season. But I'll give the players some time off, but I'll also be working them and try to prepare them for what's coming because we have a really difficult month in April. So us getting ourselves in good shape, players right, players fit, will give us a better chance of getting points in those games.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Julia. We'll go to Phil at the Press Association.
I was wondering how pleasing it was in particular to see Jack Harrison and Jesper Lindstrøm combine last week, a day on from you saying, as you had done in the press conference, we need more assists, we need more goals. Yeah,
it was really important for us as well because the goal played a big part. It gave us a goal which we desperately needed because we didn't look on the night as if we were scoring that many. We had a couple of chances, but not enough. But I do think that I think Jack's beginning to find a little bit of form. Jesper as well. We still want more. We still want more assists from them both, and we need more goals from them. So that's what we're looking for. The two of them have undoubtedly got qualities. And we need them to show it, especially in the coming months.
Great, cheers.
Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay, thanks.
David?
Good.